Hi, it says Chris Lindner, aka Imaduck, drafting for LulusCards.com, and I'm going to do a Scars Swiss draft. And I need to buy some stuff, so I will go buy it and be back in a moment. Alright, sorry about that. We're back, and it looks like the queue is just about to fill here in a second. And it looks like we're getting ready to start, so let's see what our first booster is. First booster, So our rare isn't super impressive, Ratchet Bomb, but it is worth a few tickets, and it's okay. It's fine, I'll play it, but, I don't like it as my first pick, obviously. On the plus side, it doesn't set us any colors. Another decent pick here would be Tangle Angler, a foil Tangle Angler. But, because he's one of the strongest infect creatures, as we all know. And plus, he's good enough to run in non-infect decks. But he does set you in a color. I am going to take the Ratchet Bomb, partially just to rare draft here. But it's decent. Nothing else in this pack is phenomenal other than maybe the Tangle Angler. I like Wall of Tanglecord, but first picking it kind of sucks. Some okay blue cards. Dark Slick Drake is nice, but not super good. Trainee's fine. Quarter Shield is nice. Anyway, picked it. Alright, this pack we've got a few good picks here. A couple good picks. Actually, quite a few. Contagion Clasp is pretty great here. It's colorless, so we still don't have to commit to anything. And it's overall, it's a great card. Does everything. Works in a lot of works in any strategy you would draft, basically. That being said, Razor Hippogriff is also an amazing 2-for-1 because you get an artifact back. It's really a 3-for-1. You gain some life, and you get a 3/3 flyer, which 3/3 flyers are a premium in this format. And white's one of my favorite colors to draft. If I had taken the Infect card first pick, this would be a nice card to follow up with, although actually I would still just take the class. And the rest of the cards are mediocre, the Quarter Shield, Sky Eel School. If I don't take the class, I'm just going to take the Hippogriff. I really like Hippogriff. It's a really powerful card, and maybe that's sort of a signal from the previous guy. Wow, so we would have had a strong Infect deck. Getting this to spare would have been nice, but, after we just pass those two strong Infect cards, we can guarantee there's going to be somebody down from us. Here, I think the pick is a little debatable. I mean, Embersmith is, the strongest card here other than Sisbearer. And I like it a lot, but now we're pushing ourselves already into two colors, with our first few picks, and that kind of sucks. However, pretty much the only other pick I'd be comfortable with taking at this point is maybe Silvermere. Or I could just say, okay, well, I'm definitely going to be Metalcraft and get Snapsail Glider, which is fine, but not amazing. So I'd sooner take the stronger card here with the risk of not playing it than take, a Mir. Or, Clone Shell is fine in some decks, but I really don't like taking him unless I have creatures I really want to get to, which Hippogriff is good, but, it's not a super bomb that I want to dig to. Okay, so here, the traditional red-white Metalcraft deck is a good deck, and typically, you want to have as many Chrome Steeds as possible. I really like Wall of Tanglecord as well. I mean, I think it's just a great card in any deck, even aggressive decks. It's just so good. But, here, Chrome Steed's, I think, the pick. I've also been liking Infiltration Lens more and more. It's because it's such an annoying card to play around. I've even seen some folks playing it in Standard, and it's, surprisingly effective there. So pretty good. The rest of the pack is pretty mediocre, so I'm fine with taking the Chrome Steed here, and we'll try to get on this Metalcraft strategy, I think. Grind Clock, which actually isn't the worst in certain deck strategies. If you can really wall up, it's an okay secondary win condition, especially if you have some proliferate cards. But, we're looking at more of an aggressive deck here. which means the next pick I think would be the Darksteel Sentinel. You know, he's not a bomb, but he is big and tough to deal with. Not great against Infect, but he's not actually terrible against Infect either. I mean, he's a 3-3. 3-3 for 6, but still a 3-3 Vigilance that flashes in so you can really catch them off guard. You know, otherwise I would also consider like the Soliton. You know, we could try to go for the Arbalest combo, but I think the Sentinel's just the pick here. This pack, we get a few interesting cards. So there's Necrogen Sensor, which is an artifact, is good with Glint Hawks if we had some, but otherwise not very exciting. Saberclaw Golem, I try not to play that card. Sunspear Shikari can be incredibly good in the equipment plan. Though it's worth noting that the equipment plan, although it can be incredibly good and aggressive, it can also get blown out by cards like Acid Web Spider and Turn to Slag, where, you know, if you get your equipment Acid Web Spider away, this guy's not very impressive, and if you get Turn to Slag, then you're really far behind. So, you know, I like that plan, but I don't like it as much as I used to, just because I've had too many games blown out by cards like that. Alright, this pack is interesting. It kind of is telling us that green is maybe open. We've got a Molder Beast and a Bellowing Tangleworm in here. But I like the cards and the colors I have now. Oh, looks like I picked the Barrage Ogre last pack because I just really like that card. I think it's a great late game finisher. Here I'm going to take the Galvanizer. We don't have any Mirror to go with them yet, but we're still pretty early in the draft. We'll definitely pick up a couple. Not that the Galvanizer plan is the best plan, but it's okay. It's fine. We're still seeing a lot of blue and green here, and the other colors seem to have kind of dried up. You know, I thought the Barrage Ogre might have been a little bit of a red signal here, but we're not seeing much else. I think at this point, to get an alternative strategy, I don't know if I want to go blue or green. I mean, we did see all of those green cards in the last pack. The green beaters can be good. I really don't like giving up any of the cards I have now, but I've got to do something. I've got to take something out of this pack. I'm going to take a Molder Beast. Maybe you can make an argument from the Dizimancer, or just whatever your favorite pet, you know, archetype is. Here I could take the Golden Urn to up our artifact count, but I really almost never want to play that card. It's just bad. It's just so bad. Even with Trinket Mage, it's kind of like, okay, I'll play it, sure, but even then, I usually won't play it with Trinket Mage unless I'm really hurting for targets for it. I'm going to take the Painsmith here. It's the best card. Or maybe I could take the Carapace Forger. Yeah, change my mind. I'm going to take the Carapace Forger there. In case I have to go green here. I'm going to take the Auriok Replica. I could hate the Ichor Rats, and it really looks like Infect is open. We could have had an impressive Infect deck. But I've done Infect like my last 3 or 4 drafts, and I'm just really not interested in drafting it. Of course, right now I think a lot of people are of that opinion. And so, you know. Anyway, let's take the card out of this pack that we might play the most, which is probably Flight Spellbomb. But I'm going to hide it for now. We don't have any blue. I'll take a Silclaw, just in case. If I open a blue bomb, end up in blue, it's a sideboard card. It's not even a main deck card. Take this. Whatever. Sure, I'll take another one of these. I'm not going to play them. I've seen people play them. I mean, they're decent combat tricks. But, you know, maybe on the side. Auriok Replica, you know, it's an artifact, it's a bear, although it's a bear for 1 more mana. Its ability is usually irrelevant, but its ability is alright against Infect, which, if you know, they try to blow you out with Untamed Might. So, you know, it's not like you can trick them with it. Okay, so, not too exciting rare. I saw somebody playing with this the other day, and it just seems like one of those cards you want to avoid playing. I mean, if you got it, you gotta. But, you know, we're already somewhat in red, and I don't mind taking a Galvanic Blast here, because we don't want another Sentinel. This deck isn't the type of deck, I mean, like I said, you can play the wall in any deck, but you know, it's better in decks where you've got a lot of big late game creatures, whereas that's not really the case right now for us. So I'm just going to take, you know, Galvanic Blast is a great card. I don't think there's much argument with that. Alright, so we've got some opportunities to go blue. Oh, Tangle Angler. That's really disappointing to see that Tangle Angler. Like, we really could have had an excellent Infect deck here. Card quality for Infect has just been huge, and it doesn't look like there are many Infect drafters. But I'm not going to jump into it this late in the game. I think the choice here is between Tumble Magnet and Revoke Existence. And as much as I love Tumble Magnet, and I do, I think I'm going to take the Revoke here. And we can stick on our red-white plan here. Tumble Magnet would be nice because it is an artifact and helps with that artifact plan, but... Woo! Okay, so we do get past a Kemba, a Galvanic Blast, and a Chrome Steed. You know, I first saw the Chrome Steed and I was thinking, oh, that's probably the pick, and then you look over here. Galvanic Blast versus Kemba. Kemba can be a bomb, but we don't have any equipment right now. You know, it's not to say, I mean, it's pretty early in the draft, we could pick up some equipment, but I've been a little unimpressed with that, again, because the equipment plan can get blown out pretty easily, whereas Galvanic Blast is always good. So I'm pretty happy with taking a Galvanic Blast here. Sad to pass the Chrome Steed, not feeling too bad about passing Kemba, but whatever. Here, interesting blue card, Trinket Mage. We've got a... Snapsail Glider's alright, but I think the pick here is just Kemba Skyguard. It's important to note at this point, we're kind of pushing ourselves out of Metalcraft, you know, so I don't know if we're going to be playing this Chrome Steed, but I would kind of like to. We also haven't picked up any more Mirror for our Galvanizer. I'm not super happy with how this draft is going. The double Galvanic Blast is good, Revoke is good, Hippogriff is good, and then everything else, you know, Embersmith is fine. Everything else is kind of mediocre. So it's, I don't know. But I'll take the Skyguard. It's not an amazing card. You know, I've drafted the all Skyguard deck where you have like 4 of these, and it can be an okay deck, but it's also a deck that's blown out by Bladed Pinions. And, you know, a deck that's blown out by Bladed Pinions isn't quite that great. It can also be blown out by Acid Web Spider. This is, I guess I'm lamenting, about a few drafts ago I drafted basically this deck with more equipment with Kemba, and I played against a deck that was all Bladed Pinions and Acid Web Spiders, and like I just didn't have a chance, you know. But I feel like this format is very rock, paper, scissors. Now I have a choice here. I could take the Kemba Skyguard, or I can take the Panic Spellbomb. Panic Spellbomb keeps us on the plan a little better, the artifact plan, and it, you know, and it draws us a card, and its ability is occasionally relevant, whereas Skyguard's just there. I like Skyguard better than Edgewright. Just, you know, evasion's better than you know, off Metalcraft ability. I think I'm just going to draft the Skyguard plan again. I don't like it, but at this point I'm not too happy with what the other picks are. And really, there aren't many cards that are really setting us into Metalcraft at this point. And, you know, maybe we'll pick up some Mirror and stuff to work with. I'm going to go ahead and hide the green now. I think we've pretty solidly decided we're not going green, even though it seemed kind of open earlier. This deck really we need to open some sort of bomb pack 3, and then hopefully get past even more removal. Like, the really removal-heavy red decks are some of the best decks. I mean, they're just really hard to beat. But speaking of removal, there's an Arrest, and that makes me really happy to see. Again, passing some artifacts, and, you know, it sucks. I mean, but there's nothing we can do about it at this point. You know, some drafters would say, well, this is kind of where you really make the decision points, and sometimes you just have to make the hard decision and take the worst cards, but I don't think most people would disagree with the Arrest pick here. Again, you know, Metalcraft would be nice in these colors, but it's not 100% necessary. And I'm really just not going to take a lower pick just so I can play my Chrome Steed or whatever. Here, we got some choice Infect cards. Again, Infect would have been amazing here. You know, it's so often you can kick yourself over not taking